everyone. Welcome back to Quick Shots. I'm your host, Mick Chambers, and I'm here with Mitch Kipf. From Michigan, we're kind of like next door neighbors, Mitch. Well, I'm in Kansas now, but we used to be kind of next door neighbors living in Leamington, Ontario, growing up right across the river. I guess you're across the river now, but across the lake in Lake Erie, I guess, right? Oh, hold a second. I got you muted or something here. Stand by. This happens. You're on mute. If you could get yourself off of there, that'd be great. There you go. There you are.
We're talking?
We're talking now. So,
okay.
How are you doing?
Good.
Good, man. Good. So why don't you, so this is the first time I've met Mitch, so I'm really excited. This is kind of interesting to me because there's so many different unique people in the archery community. And so just as we're talking, remember, if you're in the comments, leave a comment, say, hey, I'm here. Hi, Mitch. How's things? And stuff like that. And then if you have any questions at the very end, we'll take all the questions. Anything you want to ask Mitch, but let's get to know him. Mitch, give us your background in where you're from. How did you get started in archery?
Anyway, well, started out in Marquette, Michigan, and then ended up in Monroe, and then I ended up in Alpena. And the archery started as a young teenager and kind of just stuck with me the whole time. So this trad stuff has just became the most interesting group of people I think that I've ever come across. I never knew that the social media and the rendezvous, I didn't know any of that existed until a few years ago. But I'd always had a longbow and some arrows hanging on the wall and always participated.
That's so like when you were just a kid, because you grew up in the land of Fred Bear, right?
Yeah, spent some time in the northern part of the state for sure.
But I mean, even like Michigan, we just call all of Michigan Fred Bear's territory. I would assume that's a great place to start your longbow career where there's a legend there. And did you always shoot? Sorry, I didn't get. Did you always shoot trad, or was there time when you were?
Yeah, I started out with trad, and then went with the compound bow for a short time, but never gave up on the trad, and then come back strong here a few years ago on the trad stuff.
Yeah, and my understanding is that you are actually hunt director, right? Up at where you are currently. What's the town that you're in, and where's that? Give a little shout out to that club.
Alpena, Michigan, and hunt director at the Beaver Lake Hunt Club for the last 25 years.
25 years?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! So you're a seasoned hunter. I'm gonna guess you're just a seasoned hunter, or do you not like hunting at all?
Oh yeah.
You love it. Every day.
Every day.
That's crazy. Are you more of a what do you hunt up in Michigan? Is it whitetail mostly?
We got the partridge early season and then whitetail, and also we do bear hunts.
Dude, have you taken a bear with a longbow?
Yeah, I did. I took my first bear in 1995 with a traditional bow.
Are you kidding me? That's crazy. So how close was that bear when you shot that bear with your longbow?
I think it's probably 8 yards.
8 yards.
Yeah. It was in a kind of a low setting tree stand, probably a 10-foot tree stand. And so it was setting pretty tight on the bait. But yeah, 8 yards.
Talk me through that. All right. This bear comes in. So you're baiting bears, right? So the bear comes in. How were you? Were you like shaken or were you a veteran at that time?
Yeah, this was a bear that liked to circle the bait before we'd come in.
Yeah.
So you would listen, and this guy you could hear him creeping around behind you, and took him forever to work his way into the bait. But when he finally did, I got a good shot on him, and he probably went 50 yards, and I heard the death moan. So that was the end of him. Yeah.
That was so not scary at all. You had this under control. You're ready for it. You were prepped for it. You've been practicing, or was there some nerves there?
Yeah, it's always a little bit nervous when you're getting ready to draw back on something. But we've had a lot of experience with the baits even back then. We had been running baits up in Canada with Shane McWilliams, so we had a lot of experience and a lot of close calls with bears.
So you've taken bear. Would you say you had partridge too?
Yeah, partridge season there is Yeah,
But
that's pretty cool.
that's shotgun, right? Or is that bow?
That is shotgun.
Yeah. Well, no, shotgun. Nothing wrong with shotguns. I love doing shotgun. I love turkey. Early season, late season, doesn't matter. I don't care. I like shooting turkeys with my shotgun. It's kind of archery-ish, kind of thing. Upland birds are kind of archery-ish too. I don't know. We'll get into this in a second when I ask you about your equipment and how you shoot. But let's just wrap about. Are you an instinctive shooter, or do you aim, or how do you do your aiming?
Well, that I would call it instinctive, but I use my sight picture and I see my arrow tip in the sight picture. But I'm looking at the target. I'm not closing one eye. I'm keeping both eyes open, looking at the target, and then I bring the tip of the arrow into the proper spot. So I guess that's instinctive or gapstinctive, maybe.
Maybe it's gap. So is it underneath the target, or is it on the goal?
I like to keep it right underneath the target, and I think my point on right now is about 5 o'clock, but that's working for me.
Oh, okay. So you're just a little bit to, let me see, 5 o'clock. 1, 2, 3. So you're a little bit right of center.
Yeah.
When you're looking at the face. Oh, okay. A little bit stiff arrow. That's a good idea. So, okay, let's jump back. Let's talk about your setup for this year. You're going to Lancaster Archery, correct?
Correct.
For the classic. Gonna shoot the classic. Gonna shoot in longbow. You've got to have some wood arrows. So what's your setup right now? What gear are you using? What tell us what your bow is, and tell us anything like strings, anything fancy that you got on that thing, and then talk about your arrows.
Well, I just got my new Mercury, my Timber Point Mercury, probably just 2 weeks ago. So I'm getting used to that. That's a 38 pounds draw, 68-inch bow, cut to center. And I'm running a few different arrows right now, trying to perfect, which ones I'm going to use. But I've got some 57 spined Paul Jalan arrows. We got some Susan St. Charles on the way. And I'm having a trouble getting it tuned just perfect, but right now those 57 seem to be the best.
That's kind of, what are you doing? What are you doing for weight? What are you doing for tips on those things?
125s.
Okay. All right. Are they top hats, or are they just, you got 125 tips?
I got on this group, I got just the 125s.
Okay.
And it just coincidentally worked out that they tuned it, miraculously they were working pretty good the way they were.
You know what I need some education on, and maybe I'll put you on the spot a little bit, but that's okay if you don't. 57 pounds, but you're shooting a 30. You just told me you're shooting a 38-pound bow. Why would you need a 57-pound? Or how does that work with the arrows?
Well, I bear shaft tune my wood arrows, and it's a little tricky sometimes. But in order to bear shaft to fly straight, I'm having to be that place. And I know that's not what the charts say, and I know that's what not a lot of folks would say, but for some reason, this bow is wanting that heavy arrow.
I'm not going to lie to you. There's never been a time where I've had wood arrows that I shoot 38 pounds as well, where I was able to use like anything less than a 50-pound arrow, wood arrow. It just doesn't work for me. It's something weird about the way. Again, I think it's tough. I think what you're doing is incredibly difficult, like shooting at a target with wood arrows and a stick and string. I know you're cut to center, but still, it's still pointing, the arrow still pointing to the left, right? I mean, a little bit. So, yeah. I mean, you're right if you're right-handed. So that's pretty impressive. And what's your regiment for shooting and practicing right now for the classic?
I'm going at it 7 days a week. I usually start about 10 in the morning, and I'll just go until I'm fatigued. Take a few breaks in between, but it's shooting all the time.
You're doing this like a full-time job.
Full-time job. I wake up thinking about it. I go over to the club and shoot. And yeah, I got probably 3 hours in today. I think I got 3 hours in yesterday.
Really? Unbelievable. That's a nice bow to shoot, though. It's kind of smooth, right?
It's smooth. And that 38 pounds, I can go a long time on that.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Your hunting weight, what's your hunting weight normally?
50 and 55.
Oh, that's not crazy. That's not crazy. Some of the old timers up in Michigan, northern Michigan, are like, I'm pulling back by 65 pounds of bow weight. I'm like, yeah, okay. You'll get it to about
those guys.
Yeah, I appreciate those guys.
I've got a 70-pound original Paul Schaefer that I had to shoot. when I got it, I had to shoot that bow, and it's been
Yeah.
a long time since I could shoot 70 pounds, but I got to it, and I conquered that one. But yeah, those guys were tough.
At my age, man, if I try and pull back a 50-pound bow, I think, I'm going to be in the hospital for like a week and then on muscle relaxants for a week. And I just
We
don't
call
think I
911.
felt that. It's like, ooh, something ripped. Yeah, I'm used to like a 30 or 38. I'm usually around 38 to 42 pounds now. Even my hunting bow behind me, my recurve is, I think it's 44 on the fingers. So that's the max weight I go. And I mean, honestly, when I'm hunting, I only hunt whitetail with that thing. And I did some pig, some boar with that wild boar, but, yeah, when I'm hitting whitetail, almost always it's a pass through, almost always. So it's kind of like, I don't know if that I need that much more weight. Hey, so tell me a little bit about your shot sequence. So take me through exactly. You get to the target. What do? You must have developed something with this, multiple hours, multiple days of working out.
I wouldn't say that I've got the Joel Turner patented thing worked down, but I've got something similar going on. Each step of the way, I just kind of acknowledge what I'm doing. It passes through my mind each step of the way what I'm doing, and when I'm ready to release the arrow, I do a double check on my grip of my arrow and my anchor point and my back tension. Make sure I'm lined up straight, and then I let her go. And then I've got a static release. I'll keep my hand right there where I let the arrow go. It might bounce back a little bit, but I don't have a big follow through. I guess, like they said, the static release.
Yeah, and and that seems to be the pretty much where a lot of people are. I notice the releases used to come way back here like this, and now just here. Is that what you're talking about as a static kind of release?
Yeah, I don't have that
kind of
follow
right
through.
there.
Yeah,
right. You keep your hand tight against your face. Where do you put? I'm always curious. So you're shooting 3 under, I assume.
correct.
Okay, and are you using a 3-finger tab?
I'm using a Black Widow tab right now and a Shatterproof tab, but I have been getting better groups with a super fine leather glove. A super tight fitting leather glove has been working better for me. So unless that changes before Lancaster, I'm going to be showing up with a glove, and I'm probably going to get picked on by the big kids.
No, not at all. That's interesting though. I actually, my very first archery tournament here in Kentucky, I shot with a guy who came in like second or third place, and he was shooting with a glove. He's out of Texas. I don't recall the fella's name, but he was really good, and he had a really slick black glove, and he swore by it. He said, "I'm always going to use this glove." Do you put a lot of pressure? Like, are you a deep hook, or are you like loose, or how are you doing your hook when you're focused on it?
I do various hooks. The one that's working for me right now with this setup is a pretty shallow hook.
Okay.
Yeah. Just a little bit of third finger pressure.
Yeah.
And, so I'd say it's shallow, very shallow actually.
Yeah, I've got as we're just talking about this, I have a 2-finger tab coming my way. I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to give it a try. Because like you said, like you're saying, right? That third finger kind of is just there. So it's not really doing much. So if it's out of the way and then 2-finger release, maybe it's smoother. I don't know. We'll have to see. But I'm not putting a lot of, like, I don't pull back, like I said, 60 pounds. So 3 fingers was great if I had to pull back 50 pounds all day long. That, get that third finger engaged. But yeah, I think I might try a 2-finger going forward. I think you're going to see.
It does make a significant difference. The pressure, third finger pressure can really change the arrow flight. And so, if you don't have that third finger figured out, you can make a lot of inconsistent shots just because of that. So.
Yeah. Let's pause on that for a second, because you have done so much shooting. What I think, I just don't only talk from personal experience though, but I went from split finger, right? So the arrow between the first and second one, that's how I shot for years and years and years and years and years. But when we do this, I put a lot of pressure on my middle finger. Like when I split finger, I put a lot of pressure on this finger here. And now when I shoot, I feel like I put too much pressure on this finger, and it gets hooked sometimes, and it gets tough to let go. Do you ever have that problem? Are you really heavy on this index finger when you're
Yeah,
shooting?
I'll get my third finger caught, like you're saying sometimes. It'll hang up for not for sure why it'll hang up there for a second, and so either can blame the glove for that, but it does happen. Second
Have,
finger, I've not had that.
have you ever shot split finger?
Yeah, I do that occasionally just to do it, and
Oh, really?
just throws my point on off. But I kind of enjoy split finger shooting, but that point is so far away from my target that I'm doing a lot of guessing.
A lot of guessing.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you. Make another guess here. It's a good segue. How do you think you're gonna fare at this year's classic?
Well, if we have 100 or 125, I would be happy if I was in the middle of that somewhere.
Middle of the pack.
Yeah, I'd be happy to be in the middle.
What do you think that score is going to be? Any idea?
Well, after watching our buddy from Denmark, there's going to be some awesome scores.
Yeah, I know. Some of these guys are just Clays, especially. And then there's some really big names that are shooting again or going to be shooting this year. Obviously, there's going to be a stage that's going to be exciting. But yeah, I think it's anyone's game when you're shooting with wood arrows, though, and you're practicing as much as you have been. I've got a good feeling about that, man. I got a good feeling about that. Just keep up the hard work. If you're shooting 300 rounds right now, do you feel confident that you're in the sort of that above 200 mark, that 220 mark?
It is so inconsistent right now. If I'm shooting my best and I can keep that going, I say yes. But when I'm having my off time where I'm not hitting, I don't know what would end up happening. How would keep, 4 out of 5 arrows in the gold?
Yeah.
You can do that 3 times out of 10. I don't think that's going to do it. 3 out of 4, 4 out of 5, maybe every other time you might be doing something there.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. So I think, what's exciting though about this is that you don't know, like, the pressure how do you deal with pressure and how do other people deal with pressure? So you might be coming here and shooting Lancaster for the first time. It's overwhelming. It's a little overwhelming. People are having fun, but it is pretty overwhelming. How do you feel about handling the pressure of getting on that line? And they say, archers, take your mark, and they blow that first whistle. How do you deal with those nerves?
That's stage fright, and it's going to be hard on me.
Yeah, but what I know it's gonna be hard. Tell me how you think you can overcome it. I mean, it better not be 5th of Jack Daniels. I don't think you're allowed to die.
I just face it. Just do it. Go through the motions and just do it and deal with it, and let the pressure be there.
Yeah, just absorb that pressure. I think Joel Turner talks about, just enjoying that pressure, using that pressure for you, for your focus, and then helping that pressure narrow your focus in on your target. I forget who told me this one time too. And they said, when they feel pressure, they said, that's a privilege. It's a privilege to feel this pressure because the pressure's on me because I've done something good to get to this point. I've gotten in the car and I've driven to Lancaster. That's the pressure is on you. It's a privilege to be there. So, just enjoy it and absorb that pressure. Let me see if anyone's got any questions, please, by all means, we're ready for them. Let's ask Mitch. Let's put him on the spot, ask him a few questions. I got David. What bow you shooting, Mitch? Yeah, you missed that part, dude, but we're going to mention it again. I'm going to make Mitch mention it again because it's really cool.
It is.
Oh, that's pretty, dude. That is so pretty. What is that?
That is the brand new Mercury, Timber Point Mercury.
Timber Point Mercury, man. How long did you wait for that bow to be built?
2 years.
Is it worth it or no?
Yeah, you got to have one of these. There's nothing else you can do to get one except treat Jaco with respect and kindness.
Yep. Yeah. Well, he's a good man. I will say your fellow Stationian, Coffee has pretty good bows too. I have a Java Man myself, and I love it. I love Java Man, so I'm gonna give him a little shout out. I really like his bows too. They shoot great. So okay, and then What's this? Who's this? Heather getting in these comments here. Can you see that?
I think she's my adopted child.
Hi, Dad. Thanks for teaching me how to shoot early. 5-year-old. I learned from the best. That is so sweet. That's nice. Mike Dowers never come on my channel. I got 2 of them. They never come in and say nice stuff to me. I don't know what's going on here. You must have did something right.
Yeah. And she's not adopted, by the way.
No. There you go.
She's the real deal.
The picture kind of looks like you. No, you put a little mascara on you. You kind of look like twins. Your dad is a darn good man. Who's David? Why are you getting in here telling people do you know David well?
I don't. What's the last name?
Snyder. David Snyder.
Oh, David Snyder, Whiskey City.
Whiskey City Bow Company.
Oh, we had the privilege
of
having him and Trevor up for opening gun season this year in Michigan.
Yeah, he's a good dude too, man. He's a lot of good products coming out from him, and he's a huge promoter. I love seeing him on the show too. He's a great promoter of archery, traditional archery. Trish, I'm gonna just push up. Congratulations, Mitchell. I don't even know how to say that. You guys have these Scheffenberg. How do you say that, Trish? Scheffenberger.
I told her if she watched us tonight that she would get a free trip to Hawaii.
Oh, good. Yeah. She has to guess the secret number. So if you want to put that in the comments, let me know if you want to take a guess. But we are giving away a free trip to Hawaii tonight. I forgot to mention that. But you got to guess the number exactly right. Okay. Mike, pressure plus the close quarter shooting with the other shooters inches away takes away focus from me. Mike, you don't feel pressure at all. And Mitch, I don't think you're going to feel any either, man. The more you train, the less pressure I think you're going to feel. What do you think about that? Do you think that's going to cause any hack? Unless don't get next to a left-handed shooter, because it's weird. Because it's like you're face to face like this on a left-handed shooter.
Advice.
That's going to be my advice for you. What's this one from William? Mitch, can you explain more about holding your arrow aim at 5? Oh, yeah. Talk a little bit about how you're holding at 5 o'clock.
So I guess ideally you would have your point on at the base of the target or at the base of the gold. And for me to be hitting the gold in the center, I have to be at 5 o'clock instead of 6 o'clock. And I don't really have a method to fix that. But that is my point on is 5 o'clock on the gold.
Right. So if I understand what you're saying, you're drawing back, you're looking at the tip of the arrow. That tip of the arrow is at 5 o'clock on the target face. So if the face of the target was a clock, you would have put it at 5 o'clock, which is somewhere down here, I think, right. If I'm facing you, right there.
Yeah, just off to the right a little bit when you're looking at the target, just a little bit to the right.
You're aiming here, but your impact is here.
Correct.
Your impact is there. That's awesome. Yeah, and if you know your equipment, you trust that, and you can get there. That's what he's talking about, William. Hey, Santo. Yeah. No, go ahead.
String blur. So I think a lot of the guys use string blur, and unfortunately, that doesn't work for me. I can see clearly how that does work, but it takes me out of alignment so much that I don't have a good. That my shot doesn't execute properly. So I am not using string blur, and I know a lot of the guys are. And that's probably going to be a bad thing in the long
run. String blur comes up once in a while, right? I mean, obviously that's our rear sight. Making sure that our string blur is where we have it every single time. We're making sure, okay, it's there every single time so it hits impact. But if you have a repeatable process, which Mitch, sounds like you do. Sounds like you're constantly, you got a process. You're going through it. You're shooting. You got your anchor point. You're in nice and tight. You know you're going to be static. As long as you come back to the same anchor point every time, the same alignment, your string blur is going to be there whether you look at it or not, right? It's going to be the same spot.
It'll be somewhere out there, yes.
Right, yeah. It'll be the same spot, hopefully.
Right.
Let me see if there's a. So keep dropping questions in. This is pretty good. Can anyone shoot Lancaster? David, can anyone shoot Lancaster? Can you just show up and sign. No, dude, you got to pre-register. What are you talking about? You got to get out there early. This is a members only club. This is very exclusive club that only people who pay early can go to. I don't know. Maybe Santo is answering in the comments, but I don't know what the registration end of registration is. But it's you got to pre-register. I'm just kind of horsing around with you, but pre-register.
Yeah, I think Santo did address that. I think on your interview with Santo, he did say something about that. A bunch of them showed up last year. They didn't register. They showed up to shoot.
Yeah,
I think they all shot. So.
Yeah, not this year though. I wouldn't do that this year. This is, you really need to register. You must register. I don't want anyone going there traveling without knowing that they have a spot for sure. Because it's a big crowd this year. I mean, there's a lot of people that are excited about Longbow. Like I said at the very beginning, there's not only awesome shooters like you coming, Mitch, but there's also like some of the bigger names that used to shoot barebow that are shooting. And so pre-registration ends 2nd of January. So if you need to get in, David, pre-register 2nd of January, no later, because it's a crazy class this year where there's going to be shoot downs. There's going to be you're going to be up on stage. I'm real excited to see that. I will be glued to my seat when Mitch takes that stage. Dude, you said you're shooting every single day. There's no reason you're not going to be there. There's zero reason. I mean, everyone's just a man or a woman, and everyone's just got the same. You got like a killer bow. You got one of the best bows on the market. So like I'm putting a lot of faith in you here. So I'll put some pressure on you. And actually this show, being on the show actually gives you 10 points. You get 10 extra points at Lancaster for being on the show.
Oh, wow. Thanks for that, Mick.
Thank you for being on the show, first of all. All right, so we're going to wrap up here. It was great talking to you. It's great getting to know you. Michigander, like I said, we're right across the lake from one another where I grew up, Lake Erie. Unless you're a Lake Erie kid, you can never understand what we're talking about here, probably. It's something in the water that we drink. And what do we say you guys call pickerel? What's that weird name?
Pickerel, yeah.
Walleye. There's got to be a reason you call it walleye and not pickerel. I don't know what it is, but anyway,
it almost becomes political at this point. So.
Is it political? That's hilarious. That's so funny, man. I know. Even here, I still say pickerel, and people are like, I don't know what that is. Like pickerel. It's like a perch, but not perch. It's pickerel. Let's see if there's any more questions before we go. Final registration is 14th of January. No pressure. Kenny says, "Good luck, Mitch." Thanks, William. Oh, Mike's got a good question before we go. They call walleye pickerel, Santo. I call it pickerel. Canadians call it pickerel. Americans just right across the border call it walleye. Do you cant your bow?
I do not.
Okay. So you're sticking to a very sort of traditional, like a recurve sort of NTS style shooting, it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
So anyway, hey, like I said, I want to kind of wrap up here real quick, but I want to give you a chance. Do you need to give a shout out to anyone or say hi to anyone, or Mitch, before we leave?
Everybody at Tomahawk Archers. They're all my backbone, all my team.
That's nice. Tomahawk Archers. Okay. And where's that located?
Erie, Michigan.
Erie,
Monroe County. Yeah.
Erie, Michigan. Nice. Hey, man, it was great talking to you today. It's great to get to know you a little bit. When you win the Classic, you promise to come back on?
Sure.
Okay, we got you. Trish is saying good luck. That's my sister, is Trish too. I want to say thank you very much to the Push Archery for allowing me to do this. Their support and help makes this possible. Archerypass.com. It's a really cool place online. You can go archerypass.com to get traditional archery equipment, and Santo and Longbow Outlaws for sponsoring this channel. So I really appreciate it. Mitch, it was great talking to you, man. Thank you so much again for volunteering to be on this show. This is what it's all about, man.
Well, thanks. It was a great time. First for me.
I think it's the first of many maybe coming up here. All right. Thanks very much, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Good luck to you, Mitch. And we'll talk to everyone. Hunt the good stuff.